Hello friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. My name is Yamini and today I'm going to be talking about the important conjunctions which we are seeing this month in the month of April 2019, and how would this conjunction affect all the 12 signs. Right, so before I go ahead, let me just quickly remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and in case you like the content, do not forget to share it with people who are interested in the same. Right, so if we have a quick look at the planetary movements, planetary conjunctions this month, if we begin with Sun, we are going to see Sun in the sign of Pisces till the middle of the month, till the 15th of April, and thereafter Sun moves into the sign of Aries where it gets exalted. So very important movement, Sun getting exalted. We have one more planet getting exalted, that is Venus. So Venus is in the sign of Aquarius right now, and it moves on again by the middle of the month to the sign of Pisces, and you have Venus exalted as well. So this entire month sees two planets, that is Sun and Venus, getting exalted by the second half of the month. We have, while Venus is getting exalted, we have Mercury moving into the sign of Pisces where it gets debilitated. Right, so but this debilitation is going to get cancelled, because debilitated Mercury along with an exalted Venus leads to a cancellation and produces a Neej Bhang Yog, sorry. So we have Sun in the Ucha Bhilashi, in the moving towards exaltation. So Sun is Ucha Bhilashi for the first half of the month, Venus is Ucha Bhilashi for the first half of the month. So overall this time is good. You have, whenever a luminous planet like Sun is going to get exalted, it is a great opportunity for us to see what lies ahead. Right, and we have Venus, as I said. Then Venus and Mercury together, producing Neej Bhang in the sign of Pisces. Then we have Mars throughout the month in the sign of Taurus, and Martian energy, or rather the energy of Mars in an earthy sign, is always good, because Mars knows how to behave itself. It knows how to handle its energy properly whenever it's in a earthy sign. So Mars in Taurus does very well. Then we have Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, the planet of optimism, of happiness, also in the sign of Sagittarius till the 22nd of April. Venus is moving very fast, the speed is high, and then becomes stationary for some time. It stays in the sign of Sagittarius till the 22nd of April, and thereafter it becomes retrograde, moves back to the sign of Scorpio. And Saturn and Ketu anyways are in the sign of Sagittarius as of now. We have Rahu in the sign of Gemini. Right, so these are the important conjunctions, or the important movements which are happening this entire month. We also have out of the entire planetary movement, the most important thing to note is the conjunction of Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu together till the 22nd of April in the sign of Sagittarius. Right, so Jupiter being a planet of maturity, of wisdom, of optimism, of wealth. Jupiter represents your husband, it represents your progeny, your children. Right, it is a Gyan Karak. And Saturn is the planet of truth. Saturn shows you reality. It does not care whether the reality is something which you would like to see or not, but Saturn's job is to show you reality. Right, so it represents discipline, it represents hard work, it represents labor, and it brings you down to Mother Earth. That is the job of Saturn in short. Right, Ketu on the other hand is a mystical planet. Ketu represents all hidden things. Ketu represents mysticism, it represents occult. It stores your past, so it represents your past. What have you done till now? Ketu is storing all of it. Right, so Jupiter, Saturn, Ketu, and if you see the sign where they are in, that is the sign of Sagittarius, where Sagittarius is again a sign owned by Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to come in its Mool Trikona sign here, and the sign of Sagittarius shows the future, shows the higher beliefs, shows your philosophy. shows your higher journey. So from the sign of Sagittarius till the sign of Pisces, in the zodiac also we see the higher journey for the soul, right? After coming out of the sign of Scorpio into the sign of Sagittarius is when any planet, or there's a movement towards a higher plane, right? So when these three planets come together in the sign of Sagittarius, it shows that this is a good opportunity for us to make a good foundation for ourselves based on truth, based on whatever we have done till now. It's an opportunity for us to understand ourselves, to be conscious of our actions, right? Be self-aware. And it is a very good time to understand everything around you, understand everything, use the wisdom of people around you, and make a foundation for yourself. So whatever life offers you, Saturn's job is to show you that this is where you stand. You might be expecting that you're here, that you're going to jump here. No, but Saturn shows you the real picture, while Jupiter keeps that optimism alive in you. It tells you, it is, in fact, Jupiter coming into the sign of Sagittarius for these few days tells us that yes, though the reality shows us where we are, we can use our optimism, we can use the opportunity to grab whatever is around us and make a foray in life, right? So this is a very important planetary conjunction to utilize the energy to see where you're going to go in the future. And whichever house this falls in, whichever house this conjunction falls in, it's again a very important area for you to work on as well, right? So we'll understand all this, we'll understand the impact on all these signs as well. So if I start with Aries, this conjunction is happening in the 9th house for you. And then we have the Lord of Aries, that is Mars, in the 2nd house in Taurus. Earthy energy, and Mars really does well in earthy energy. We have Sun getting exalted in your 1st house by the 2nd half of the month, right? So that is something, this is an opportunity for you to build up on your confidence. You will be able to see the opportunities around you. You will be able to feel more confident by the 2nd half of the month. We have Venus getting exalted also in the 2nd half of the month in the 12th house. So this is again a time where you can expect some changes in terms of going out, enjoying yourself, spending time and money on some entertainment, on luxury products. So and again, this is a time for those who are married to, or those who are in a romantic relationship. They tend to enjoy this time more, right? And a lot of if you look at the other conjunction also, this is again a very good window to look for any job changes if you're looking at some, right? So job changes, or any changes in your profession. It could be realignment, it could be a change in your role at your workplace. This is again a very good time for you to make any such changes, right? Now coming down to the sign of Taurus. When we look at Taurus, we have an exalted Sun in your 12th house by the 2nd half of the month. And we have, the best part about the sign of Taurus is that you are ruled by Venus, and we have Venus exalting in the 2nd half of the month in your 11th house. So this shows that whatever had been whatever was pending for long, whatever you wanted to achieve, Venus is going to help you in achieving those things by the 2nd half. So it's a great time to keep doing your hard work, keep doing your bit, put in efforts in the 1st half of the month, and then look for opportunities to encash that effort by the 2nd half, right? So 1st half is more of hard work, and 2nd half is when you actually get to encash those opportunities, right? And But at the same point in time, Sun getting exalted in your 12th house tells you to watch out for expenditure, right? You might be spending unnecessarily on things which you may not need in future. So be very watchful over your expenditure. Then we have Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu conjunction in your 8th house. Time to look out for any life-changing events. Time to look out for any kind of events which just might shake you up. Maybe, this is a time to look for any transformation, for changing something around you. There could be changes in your inheritance. There could be some major changes if you're looking at some inheritance or some insurance issues, right? Your partner's wealth could again be a point of discussion, could be a bone of contention. So these are the kind of things which you should watch out for. Overall, the energy levels for you are going to be high, but how you spend this energy is going to be very, very important, right? Now, coming to the sign of Gemini. This entire month, we have this conjunction, Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu coming together in your 7th house. We have Rahu in your 1st house anyways, right? So, this is a time for you to keep a check over your anger, keep a check over how you deal with others. So be very mindful of that. Your anger could lead you into trouble, right? Your 3rd lord, that is Sun, is getting exalted in your 11th house. So your efforts could actually, lead to wish fulfillment. But how you go about it is something which you really need to be watchful about. How you deal with others on the way to success is what you need to watch about, right? And otherwise, if we look at your romantic affairs, your marital affairs, this is a great time. Your 12th lord is getting exalted, that is Venus, right? So this is a great time to if you're in a relationship with someone, if you're going to go ahead in a relationship with someone, this is a great time to work in that direction as well, right? If you look at the sign of Cancer, for Cancer, your 10th house has an exalted Sun in the 2nd half of the month, right? Then you have Mercury as well as Venus moving out of your 8th house into the 9th house, right, by the 2nd half of the month again. Then we have Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu in the sign of Sagittarius in your 6th house. So if you actually see, the Kendra remains empty more or less, and the planets are moving out of the 8th house to the 9th house. There's a jam of planets in the 6th house as well. So overall, if you see, this is a good month for you to put in more efforts towards your work and wait for the rewards to come in, right? So you shine at your workplace, Sun being there in the 10th house in the 2nd half of the month. Then you have the Yoga Karak Mars going on to the 11th house in the sign of Taurus. So that's again a good indication for Cancer people, right? And there'll be a lot of changes in your daily routine. That is something which you need to be thinking about, need to be redoing also if need be. So your daily routine takes up a lot of your time, takes up a lot of your energy, and there could also be some chances to maybe revive any relationship with a relative wherever your relationships are not working, a relationship which does not give you a lot of satisfaction. Maybe it's a time to take a call whether things are working ahead or not. So your relatives, the relatives angle has to be seen and has to be worked on also, right? So overall, I would say that this is a good month for you, but one thing which you need to be careful about is your relationships with relatives, relationships with your spouse as well, right? Now coming to the sign of Leo. If you look at Leo, we have the a lord of Leo, that is Sun, in the 8th house in the first half of the month, and thereafter by the second half Sun moves on to its exaltation sign, that is Mars, and that is your 9th house. So this is a time to let go of old issues, because Sun is coming out of your 8th house onto your 9th house. Time to renew things, time to look up for renewal, time to let go of past things which are not serving you anymore. So and Sun being in the 8th also gives an indication that your father's health could also be under question. So your father's health, your own vitality overall could be a little shaky. You could feel a little not up to it, or you could feel a little disturbed physically in the first half of the month. So it's really time to be careful about it, right? Then you could also face some property issues. So any property matter or any land matter which was pending for long, I think this is a time to have a look at it again. You have Mars in the 10th house having a direct aspect onto the 4th house. So your land issues, property issues, anything, wherever you want to put in your time and energy to sort things out, or maybe to look out for something new, is this is a great month to do so, right? Now coming on to the sign of Virgo. For Virgo, I would say that this is a very difficult conjunction. Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu coming together in your 4th house. So basically, you feel that your peace of mind is getting challenged. So whatever you want to do, you feel discontented, you feel as if you're not able to do what you wanted to do actually. And then there is also a tiff which you see in your family. There could be something which affects your happiness. So this is a month where your peace of mind is disturbed, your overall happiness quotient, so to say, I would say that it remains a little low. So it's time to keep your horses, hold your horses and keep patience this entire month. You also have Mars in the 9th house having an aspect on all these 3 planets, Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu, the entire month. And Mars, as we all know, is not a very favorable planet for the sign of Virgo, right? So it is the 8th lord, it is the 3rd lord, it's one of the most malefic planets for the sign of Virgo. So this entire month, I would say that you should be cautious regarding your health. You should be cautious regarding your overall matters at home, outside as well, right? So month of caution. Then you have, but the best part is that whatever challenges you face in the first half of the month, your second half of the month will bring in some respite, because you'll have Mercury coming on to the 7th house along with Venus, and Mercury there aspects the Lagna directly, and it gets into a Neej Bhang Yog also along with Venus. So whatever you feel is not going right in the first half of the month, the second half brings in a little better time for you, right? Now the sign of Libra. So if we talk about Libra, we have Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu in the 3rd house. And the best part about Libra this entire month is that we have the Lord of Libra, Venus, getting exalted. But where does it get exalted? In the 6th house. So you could feel competitive, you could feel that you can deal with a lot of competition, you can deal with a lot on your plate. You might be very over ambitious, also making plans for your daily routine. Maybe you feel that you can achieve this, so many points together. But you might be over ambitious about your plans, right? So be realistic in whatever you're doing. Do not make plans which you cannot actually go ahead with. So do not overcommit. And Mars in the 8th house is again something which tells us to be a little cautious when it comes to your spouse's health, when it comes to, you could be spending money or you could be dealing with health concerns of family members. So take care of your family members, take care of your spouse especially, because Mars in the 8th is not a great time for your spouse, right? Short journeys could happen, but you might feel that these short journeys are not giving you the results which you want. So this is again the theme of the entire month, and second half of the month could bring in better results in terms of wealth, in terms of finance also. But a word of caution, you have to keep your communication under check. So whatever is your communication, whether it is oral or whether it is the written word, you have to be very careful about how you're communicating. So try to be little more polished, though Libra people are anyways quite polished and balanced people, but you need to keep a check on communication the entire month. Then coming to the sign of Scorpio, for Scorpio, the best part this entire month is that Mars, your lord of the sign of Scorpio, is in the 7th house. It's aspecting the Lagna directly. So this is a big support for you the entire month. But as I've been saying in my previous videos also, of all the recent planetary conjunctions, of all the recent planetary movements, finance is something which you need to be very, very careful about if you have a Scorpio Lagna. Right, so financial matters take away a lot of time. You could be redoing your financial matters. You may not be feeling satisfied in terms of how your money is working out, how your wealth issues are going on. And all this will not pose a trouble if you keep a check on your speech, because your speech is something which you really need to check, because that is where you're going to get into trouble if you have to. Right, so that is something which I would really ask you to focus on this entire month. Now the sign of Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, as I said in the beginning as well, this powerful conjunction Jupiter, Saturn, Ketu are coming together in your Lagna. You also have, in case you have your moon also in the sign of Sagittarius, you are undergoing the Sadhisati as well. So this is anyways a tough and challenging time for Sagittarians, right? So this is a time to redo or look over, kind of pause and see how your life is going, set your priorities right this entire month. Mars in your 6th house supports you in your initiatives. You are able to tide over a lot of difficulties with ease, because Mars in a Upche Sthan, that too in a earthy sign, in a growth house, does really well for Sagittarius, right? Then you have your 9th lord, that is Sun, getting exalted in the trine, that is the 5th house. So again, something which supports you, right? Any kind of property issue or any kind of matter related to land, property, wealth, comes into limelight, because your Venus is also getting exalted in the 4th house, in your 4th house in the sign of Pisces. So you could actually, think about these matters if you're looking at buying a new car, if you're looking at doing something in your house, if you're looking at beautifying your house, adding something, changing your furniture, etc. This is a great time for it. But overall, your health is something which you have to take care of, as long as the Saturn and Ketu conjunction is there in your 1st house. So health is something which you really need to be careful about. Now the sign of Capricorn. So for Capricorn, we have Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu together in your 12th house. We have Mars in the 5th, and Sun is getting exalted in your 4th house. So Sun brings in a lot of your domestic matters to the foray, domestic matters to the front in the 2nd half of the month. So any kind of a resolution which you're looking at in terms of land, in terms of property, this month can be used, this time can be used, especially the 2nd half. Then home improvement, you might feel like changing the color of your walls. You might feel like doing up your home, doing up your garden. There could be improvement in your relationship with your father. So these are the things which you can look forward to this entire month. They could also be a little tiff in terms of how you spend your money. What is your expenditure? So be very careful if you are in disagreement with your spouse, because that could be a point of argument, that could be a point of fighting with your spouse or with your business partner. So your money, how you're spending your money, how you're investing your wealth is something which is going to be a little troublesome issue, this entire month. Then if you look at the sign of Aquarius, for the sign of Aquarius, I would say that whatever you feel like achieving this entire month, you feel that things are happening, but you're not able to achieve what you want, right? So there is a delay in what you want to achieve, and that is something which is there for you to deal with this entire month. So you have to remain patient this entire month. But the good news is that in terms of wealth, in terms of your money, or if you're looking at some investment which has which is going to fructify in this coming month, this is a great time. So overall, in terms of wealth, this is a good time. But other wishes, whatever you want to achieve, any personal goal which you have to deal with, is something where you might deal with some obstacle, you might deal with some delay. Then we have Mars in your fourth house, Mars in the sign of Earth, in the sign of Taurus. So this is a time to deal with any kind of a property issue, or in case you are connected with the real estate work, in case you are connected with anything to do with land, this is a time where you see a lot of progress happening, where you see a lot of action, right? And Sun coming into your third house, getting exalted in the third house, also gives you a lot of courage. It gives you a lot of motivation, it gives you a lot of courage to deal with anything which life throws at you. But the overall theme of the month is patience, holding on to what you have and not losing patience at all, right? Now coming down to the last sign of Pisces. For Pisces, as we all know, Venus is going to come and be in the Lagna, be in your first house in the second half of the month. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the first part of the video, but Venus forms the Malavya Yoga also here. So Venus in its own sign, in its sign of exaltation, that too in the Kendra, that too in your first house, forms Malavya Yoga. So this is a great time for you health wise, this is a great time for you overall. You tend to overpower people around you. But one thing which you need to be very, very careful about is how you communicate. So do not be rough in your speech, do not be sharp. You have to keep a check over your sharp tongue, because Piscean people anyways, you have Mars by default in your second house. So the house of speech anyways shows a lot of aggressiveness, shows a lot of aggression, and Sun is getting exalted over there. So be very, very careful about how you communicate, and especially within your family, right? And then you have Jupiter, Saturn and Ketu in your 10th house. So a lot of workplace issues take away your focus, take away your time. You might be looking at a change of job, at a change of workplace. That is again a point which you might keep considering this entire month. But overall, I would say that this is a good time to indulge yourself, to spend time on yourself, whether you're looking at getting a new haircut, to adding things to your wardrobe, or to going for some treatment in terms of your skin, or doing something with your face. So it just might be a simple thing of getting some treatment. If you have any face concerns, if you have any issues in terms of your skin, you might feel like working on that. So you might get a good doctor, you might get a good therapist for yourself as well this entire month, right? So that is about it. This entire month is going to be action packed, and I would say that this conjunction is going to be a very power packed conjunction. So make use of this time, see how you're going to utilize this conjunction, right? So I'll see you again in my next video. Till then, Bye bye. God bless you.